Right. Can everyone hear me? No, it's not working well, is it? Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay, good. Right. Okay. Welcome everyone to the first live stream on the Guardian Moes channel. We got Electro Doc as our chat mod. It feels a bit weird, like it's almost like I'm doing a video, but you know, it's live. You know, it's not pre-recorded or anything, so it's pretty cool. So we're going to be talking about the Unite the Kingdom rally that's going to be happening on May the 16th. We're 6 days away, and lucky for everyone because we're on the weekend, and tomorrow is a bank holiday, so we get an extra day off for everyone. Those of you on the 9 to 5, and then the following week we've got obviously 2 weeks later we got the 16th of May, which is awesome, brilliant. Nelly, hi Nelly. So I'm not sure if I can actually interact with my audience. Hello everyone. I'm just going to try saying hello. Hello everyone. Okay, it worked. Right. Yeah, because it said on the premium plan, like premium StreamYard plan, that allows you to interact with your audience, but on the free plan you can't. Seemingly I can. Okay. Well. But anyways, yeah, we're going to be talking about the all about the Tommy Robinson rally, UTK, 16th of May. And last time we had that march in central London, I forgot, remind me when the date was? The last march we did. Oh, I forgot. Was it September? It was September, wasn't it? Or was it October? I forgot. But anyways, that was like reaching up to, what, 1 million people. Obviously, mainstream media told us that it was 100,000 or so people who attended. But I believe it topped to a minimum of what, 1 million. Yeah, 13th of September. That's it. Memory just goes out. But yeah, I reckon this time around we're going to get minimum of 2 million people. Almost guarantee it, you know. And let's just play a few clips, just so everyone knows where to go, how to get there, and how to plan their route on the way to the meeting area. We've got Richard Inman who's going to explain it to us all. I'm not sure how to add videos onto the screen, but let me just try. Okay, I've downloaded a bunch of videos. Let's just see if I can.
Okay, this is a really important.
Can everyone see that? So my screen is pivoted towards this way, and I got this is me. The small screen here is me. Can everyone see this video that's appeared on screen? Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just streaming from another channel, and yeah, it's visible. Cool. Let's listen to what Richard has to say.
Okay, this is a really important message for everyone travelling to UTK on the 16th of May. There's a very specific route we want all our supporters to use. If travelling by train or tube, we want all our supporters to use the following train and tube stations: King's Cross, St Pancras and Euston stations. On leaving King's Cross, St Pancras, turn right onto Euston Road. Walk down Euston Road until you see Euston Station on your right. Once you reach Euston Station, turn immediately to your left after St Pancras Church. You're turning into Upper Woburn Place. This is the A4200 road. Continue south down the A4200 until you see a line of stewards blocking the road. This will be your form-up point. To ensure crowd safety, Form up behind the steward's line. Nobody has any reason to be in front of the steward's line. Anyone in front of the line will be considered to be not taking part in the event. The march will start on the A4200. We will then move down Kingsway into Aldwych. From Aldwych, we will march onto the Strand and down to Trafalgar Square. Then we'll move into Whitehall and we'll finish the march in Parliament Square. We want to ask all our supporters, do not wear masks, refrain from excessive alcohol, and be peaceful and courteous at all times. And most of all, we look forward to seeing every single one of you on the 16th of May.
Coming to the march on May 16th.
Okay, cool. So I wasn't really paying attention. I was doing something else on the screen. But it seems that we're going to be meeting out. What did he say? Was it outside Euston Square or was it Euston Station? So no, you come out of Euston Station and then, correct me if I'm wrong, you meet outside of Great Portland Street. I forgot what he said. Wait, hold on.
And Euston stations.
I'm in Euston Station. Okay. Hey, Yam Yam, how you doing? Let's just repeat that.
On leaving King's Cross St Pancras, turn right onto Euston Road. Walk down Euston Road until you see Euston Station on your right. Once you reach Euston Station, turn immediately to your left after St Pancras Church. You're turning into Upper Woburn Place. This is the A4200 road. Continue south down the A4200 until you see a line of stewards blocking the road. This will be your form-up point. To ensure crowd safety, form up behind the steward's line. Nobody has any reason to be in front of the steward's line.
Oh, I get it, guys. I get it. Okay. I'm wondering if I can share my screen here. How do you do that? Oh, God. Hold on. Remove this from the stage. And then, how do you share screen? Oh, yeah. Here it is. Share screen. Easiest. Best on good. Okay. Select the tab. Entire screen. Yep. Share. Okay. Oh my. Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm supposed to add it to the stage. Okay. Can anyone see my screen? Right, let's just pivot over to, oh, fuck's sake, Google Maps. Right, let's just open this. Can everyone see this? Yeah, we're on Google Maps. All right. So what Richard was saying that is that you come out of, this is King's Cross. Can everyone see my cursor? Fucking hell. Oh yeah, okay. Right, everyone sees my cursor. This is King's Cross Station. That's Euston Station. Whichever station you come out of, doesn't matter. But let's just say you're coming out of King's Cross Station. You come out of the southern end, down onto Euston Road. You exit out the station. Then you come down here, take an immediate left down Upper Woburn Place. You continue walking down. I'm just following his instruction until you... apparently it's a junction that we stop at. That's where the meeting place will be. So it's either Traverstock Place or it's Russell Square. I couldn't really pick up what Richard was saying, and also his reference point on the map was a bit off. But yeah, somewhere around here. And then whenever everything's all ready to go, you start marching down Southampton Row. I believe that's the way forward. Get out of my screen. Right. Past Holborn, because I'm familiar with this area in London. I'm not super familiar, but when I used to live in London, I knew where these areas were. It's actually quite simple. Follow down the street, down to where the Strand is. So the Strand is, it's actually been used for one of the Tommy rallies. I believe it was the one it was either June or July 2024. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there was definitely one of the rallies, Tommy Robinson's rallies. I believe it was actually the first one. Was it the 1st of June that we did the very first ever UTK rally? We walked past the Strand. Or I could be wrong, actually. I'm not sure. But yeah, we continued down the Strand. Some wonderful shops, by the way, and hotels. We're gonna be able to pass the Savoy. That's pretty cool. Then it's down this Trafalgar Square roundabout. It's a pretty big roundabout. I remember we were there on the 13th of September as well. Do you remember, everyone? We crossed the bridge. It was either the Westminster Bridge or it was some other bridge. I believe it was the Westminster Bridge. I didn't make it to the other side. I remember I was stranded somewhere here. But yeah, we had to, my brother and I, we were just trying to find a kind of an alternative route. So we looped around King's College, past the Strand and down to Trafalgar Square, and then the police escorted like a crowd of us around to where the main stage was, and that was where we encountered those far left stand up for rapism protesters. That was awful, absolutely awful. But thankfully, this time we don't have to cross no bridges, so we won't have that kind of obstruction, which is good, because that was that was a real conundrum, especially for the organizers as well. I don't think you want to cross any of the bridges, like, even though it kind of creates a kind of scenic element, like it's really kind of for the journalists and citizen journalists, they can take photos and stuff. It's quite picturesque and it captures the moment. But for practical, pragmatic reasons, I probably wouldn't use the bridge if I was an organizer. So yeah, come down Trafalgar Square, obviously down Whitehall, which is going to be pretty cool, past Downing Street, and then this is where we meet. I believe it's Parliament Square, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll pivot back to my screen. But yeah, Parliament Square is where we meet. And that was actually the first, that was the meeting place of the first event, the first UTK rally on June the 1st. I think it was. It was in Parliament Square. That only amassed, hundreds of thousands of people. So that wasn't even the biggest rally. But this time, managing to get, 1 million plus people clustered around Parliament Square, that's going to be a big challenge. I mean, we're probably going to have to stretch all the way to Buckingham Palace. Like, look at this massive Hyde Park area. You can probably fit close to 1 million people there. But still, the streets can be gridlocked, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of people. So yeah, I'm wondering how it's all going to be organized. So I'm hoping that things go according to plan, and the event runs smoothly. So we'll see how it goes. It's showing me your porn photo. No, it's not. Last time I visited the Strand, it cost me £500 sister hand. £500 sister hand, 2 hotels on it. Oh, was it? Wow. That's central London for you. Right, let's just remove off screen. Let's take a look at some of the influencers that are going to be attending the event. So I saw on X, there was this guy called Ross the Don. He's been walking 350 miles all the way from Scotland to reach London. Eventually, he's going to reach London for the 16th of May. So I just randomly found one of his pages, but I'm at the moment, oh fucking hell, at the moment I'm unable to locate the exact video. Hold on, I think I'm able to find it. Hold on a second. It should. I don't think I downloaded it. Oh no, I did. You can share. Oh fuck. Okay, let's just remove this one, and then we'll get Ross the Don up. Okay. Can anyone hear that? Oh, it's just music, that's all.
I know you're worried at night, I won't find my way. And I'm tired of lying to myself just to get through each day. My head says I should have never left, and then my feet will soon lead to my death. I'm starting to question if God's trying to teach me a lesson. I'm starting to wonder if my true colors changed since I left you. And I used to shine bright like gold, now I'm all in gold. My colors are darker and cold. I think it's time that I went home. And I don't understand why I always feel dead and alone. Well, I used to shine bright like gold, now I'm all in gold.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's like a pilgrimage, isn't it? Like he should name it like the United Kingdom pilgrimage. Seriously, all the way from Scotland down to London. I'd like to do that someday. I mean, he should set up a movement of people who are willing to join him for that kind of walk. It's like basically like a pilgrimage. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he's got his mini trawler with the Union Jack on it as well. So yeah, I wonder where he stays. Does he pitch a tent in one of those camping sites, or does he stay in the Airbnbs? But yeah, still, that's pretty cool. Really inspirational. But yeah, apparently he's doing it as a way to donate, send funds to as donation to homeless veterans. So I'm not sure if I can plug in the link for you guys to check out. Whatever. You can just search up on X, Ross the Don. Here, I'll type it in. Ross the Don. Just type it in. If you got an X account, type it in the profile search, and you see him embark on his journey all the way from Scotland, like in the thick of rain, weather, snow, and everything. Like I remember last night was pissing down with rain, wasn't it? I was trying to deliver what 320 parcels. I told my manager, like, you can't expect me to finish my route with 320 parcels whilst it's pissing down in this weather. It's crazy, absolutely mad. And we got the Pink Ladies as well joining the UTK rally.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Orla, and I am one of the Pink Ladies. Yay! And we will be there on the 16th of May with all of you at UTK. We are so excited to be able to join all of you patriots and represent the mums and grandmothers of this country.
Yes, the Pink Ladies, they're a kind of demonstration group. They've been going around like cities and towns in the UK protesting, mostly outside of migrant hotels. I remember there was it the one in Canary Wharf where one of the organisers of the Pink Ladies, she got pepper sprayed in the eyes by one of the police officers. Absolute madness. Like the way the police treat some of these demonstrators is just awful. Like that level of two-tier policing, literally. The reason why movements like the Pink Ladies get set up it's because the government keep on importing third world migrants and placing them in hotels. And, no wonder people get outraged and upset, and there's mass protests and rallies in Epsom. Epsom, we had Southport, we've had Braintree, we've had just so many towns and cities dotted all across the country. People up in arms protesting about these migrant hotels. You're putting them in areas where there are families and children. Utter incompetence. That's what it is. But yeah, shout out to the Pink Ladies. They'll probably, I believe Orna Minahan, she confirmed that she'll be speaking on the 16th of May. She's one of the spokesperson for Restore Britain as well. She's quite influential. Then we got Gurmit Singh. I love Gurmit Singh. He's one of the organizers. Well, not organizers. He kind of plans these United Kingdom rallies and events. He's more of kind of the coordinator. He's in charge of. He's part of the team, really, in charge of planning the event. So
May the 16th, Central London, that's our battleground. Last September, United Kingdom and Urban Scoop brought millions and millions of people to Central London. One voice, 4 nations. We all came together to fight against the evil tyranny of that bastard in there. This time we have the whole of Whitehall. We've got TV screens every 70 metres going down to Parliament Square to Trafalgar Square. We are no longer meeting at Hyde Park. There's a meeting this Saturday. After that, full details will be given to you. But in the meantime, we're expecting way larger figures than what we had last September. So book your hotels, book your taxis, book your coaches, book everything you need to get booked, and get it booked now so you do not miss out on the largest event the world has probably ever seen. There's also a new website that's out now, UTK. Head over to Tommy's X account, all the details are there. You're definitely not going to miss this time all the speakers of the day and the main man himself, Tommy Robinson, that will be back with us very shortly. My name's Gurmit Singh. I'm going to be there. I'll catch you there as well.
Please can I urge you to show your support for our work now and into the future.
yeah, that was Gurmit Singh. Brilliant. Book your hotels, make your plans. Gurmit Singh, he's been involved in a lot of the documentaries that Tommy has released. I believe one of them's The Rape of Britain, interviewing, previous victims of, grooming gangs and sexual assault, FGM. I don't want to say the real word, but the full terminology. But yeah, he does like documentaries and stuff, and he kind of exposes these underlying criminal organizations that run these kind of grooming gangs. And yeah, he's exposed a number of individuals as well. Number of individuals who've either been prosecuted for sexual assault or they've been held under suspicion for sexual assault, particularly in the kind of diverse communities. So yeah, kudos to Gurmit, and yeah, he does a really good job of organizing these rallies. And we also got Ant Middleton. He's going to be well, he won't be speaking at the rally because apparently he's going to be climbing Mount Everest with his son. He's going to be going on his own expedition. He posted this on X. I will show my dedication to London and England and our people by starlinking in from the Everest base camp before myself and my 17-year-old son will be tackling the summit of Mount Everest. This is a show of unity, nation pride, solidarity, preservation of our identity, culture, and way of life. A show of force like never before to let everyone know that we are at wit's end and we will not stand by and be tolerant no more whilst our system is manipulated, used against us, corrupted and compromised, all whilst our children, women and fellow Brits are abused, butchered and unalived on our streets. This is probably the final rally of this type, so enjoy it. Don't be savages like the boat people and external extreme cultures. Maintain our high British standards, respect our law and order and police, and come together to preserve what truly belongs to us, our land and our people. Time to think of number 10. See you on the 16th of May. A call to arms for the United Kingdom rally by Ant Middleton. Let's play the video.
This is a really important message for everyone in the UK or travelling into the UK for the 16th of May, the United Kingdom rally. This rally is so important. If you can be there, please do so. And I'm talking to everyone, the Scots, the Taffs, the Paddies, the English, the Brits, everyone that can be there, please be there. This is a show of force. This is about unity. This is about pride. This is about patriotism. This is about cultural preservation, preserving our identity. This fits into absolutely everything English, Welsh, Scottish and Irish. So if you can be there, please attend. I unfortunately won't be there. I'm climbing Mount Everest with my son, Gabriel. He's 17 and hopefully we will be standing on top of the world in a few weeks. However, what we will do, or what I will do, I will Starlink in from base camp on the 16th of May to talk to you all about the importance of what I've just mentioned. So if you can be there, be there. I will be being interviewed by Tommy via Starlink. We'll be talking about everything Mayor of London, everything safety and security and protection, everything law and order, cultural preservation, the importance of identity as well, and the importance of being selfish right now. We really need to focus on our country, on our people, and on our children. And if that's you and you want to do that, please ensure that you're part of the 16th of May Unite the Kingdom rally. Come together, unite, respectfully, have fun, but also to deliver an important message of unity. Guys, see you on the 16th of May. I will be at Everest Base Camp, so I will see you in London.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. Apparently he's doing a Starlink interview with Tommy. Don't know how Starlink works, but yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what that's all about. But yeah, Ant Middleton, I'd hands down vote for him if I was living in London for those mayoral elections, because Sadiq Khan needs to be put out of his seat. He doesn't deserve a position in politics down the road for the for any foreseeable future. You know, he's ruined the entire city of London. The beautiful capital city of the United Kingdom has been ruined by one man alone. You know, streets are dirty, too many speed cameras. Your road tax and your council tax goes towards all of these cameras that work to prosecute people who live in London. It's just absolutely awful. It's crime-ridden. It's stink-ridden. It's multi-culti, full of diverse bunch of people. And yeah, the third world has been imported into what should be the capital city of a first world country. And so then hopefully Ant Middleton has some kind of leverage in the mayoral elections. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. Next, we got Base and Bougie. 29 days ago before the biggest unity march the world will ever witness. Be a part of history and join us on the 16th of May to show the world what real patriotism and unity looks like.
I am super excited to announce that on the 16th of May, I will be speaking at the biggest rally the world has ever seen, which is the Unite the Kingdom rally. On the 16th of May, we will be showing the world who the London streets belong to, because it certainly does not belong to the Marxists, the communists, the Islamists, Palestine, the LGBTQ, LMNOFOP mafia. It belongs to patriots, people who love the country, the people, the history, freedom, democracy, liberty. So if you love all of those things, it doesn't matter your skin color, come join us. And on the 16th of May, we will be showing people what real patriotism looks like. If you want to support, you can also click the link below, and let's paint the streets red, white and blue. Let's go Patriots.
Yeah, give it up for Based and Bougie. Do you hear what she said? Doesn't matter what your skin color is or what background you come from. You can come onto the streets of London on the 16th of May and paint your colors red, white and blue and demonstrate your patriotism. Some people say otherwise, don't they? Far-right racists, far-right extremists, white supremacists. Some people do say otherwise, and we all know who those types of people are. Next, we got Free Speech Shell. I'm not sure if I can... Oh, no. I have to delete a few of these. Oh, no, that's the wrong video. Hold on. Let's delete this one. Let's remove that. Let's remove that. Let's bring on Free Speech Shell. Free Speech Shell.
I'm Michelle, known as Free Speech Shell, and I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be speaking on the 16th of May at what will be the most historical event of our times, reclaiming our British culture, standing united as a kingdom, united in Christ and as patriots together. You must attend this event if you believe in our British culture and identity. We must stand together for a people's revolution, where we unite and say no more to this useless, weak government and say yes to us, the people. Book your flights, trains and hotels because you won't want to miss out on the feeling of being united once again. You can visit the link below to donate and support. Make May 16th a part of history forever.
Yeah, so that was Free Speech Shell. I'm not sure what organisation she's part of, but she's definitely quite influential. I've seen her a few times on X, making the case for freedom of speech in the UK and all the kind of, suppressions on free expression that the Labour government have put under and have implemented into law. So, yeah, she's been taking a stand against that, and she's going to be speaking on the United Kingdom rally. And obviously, I got a man who needs no introduction. We got Maya Tousi.
I am absolutely delighted to announce that on the 16th of May in central London, I will be attending and speaking at the Unite the Kingdom rally organised by my good friend Tommy Robinson. Whether we like it or not, we live in a globalised world, but that doesn't mean that we have to be politically globalists. It does mean that patriots and nationalists from all around the Western world must support each other and fight together for what we all believe in. And that's what the United Kingdom movement has been doing. It's not just to bring people together in this country to fight for our values, but to also help all others from around the world. Now, if you believe in freedom, Christian values, and the Western civilization, join us on the 16th of May in London. And of course, if you want to support the movement as well, the link is on this post. And of course, I will see you guys very soon.
Cool stuff. Yeah, Maya Tousi goes to all the rallies, doesn't he? But yeah, I haven't actually been watching Maya Tousi for quite some time now. He covers a lot of the news in Iran and the Middle East. He doesn't really sort of cover British news, more of a worldwide journalist at this stage. But yeah, I've been watching Maya Tousi since 2019. He's been doing it since 2017, this kind of journalism work. So yeah, he's quite committed to free speech and the free press as well. Without these kinds of citizen journalists, Maya Tousi's not really a citizen journalist, but without people like Baraka, for example, who is in the chat, hello Baraka, people like Maya Tousi, people like the people who go on the streets and interview people, doing street interviews, citizen journalists. Those are the kind of people who are putting themselves on the front lines. There's another guy, what's his name? Wesley Winter. He does pretty good documentaries as well. Just pivot your attention away from the mainstream media. Why do we have to watch choreographed, scripted interviews with people who probably have no idea what they're talking about? Establishment politicians on garbage news, Sky News, Good Morning Britain, the British bashing corporation, as Dan Wootton likes to call it. It's basically indoctrinating people into very surface level centrist politics. We need real people talking common sense. That's what we need. That's why we need more citizen journalists like Baraka, for example. And yeah, Maya Tousi's been working quite hard on some of the news coming out of the Middle East, but I'm not so privy to that kind of side of things. You can tell from my channel, I don't really comment too much on Israel or Iran too much. I generally keep it a bit more private because I have to do a lot more thorough research before I actually release my opinion, my personal take on it. But yeah, the Iran war currently, it has a lot more of a bigger impact on not just the UK, but on other countries across the globe, more than you think. So, you know, a lot of people are talking about the oil crisis, rising fuel costs, and potentially fertilizer shipments being not even just delayed, but postponed, and then eventually just cut out for a long periods of time. And that should worry farmers in this country as well. You know, it's all well and good when you say that the UK can be a self-sufficient country. We've got our own beef, our chickens, our own veg, and our own food supply. But when fertilizer and fuel is being imported outside of the country into the UK, that's when you get problems like this, as we're experiencing from the Iran war. But that's you can go on other people's channels to tune into that kind of content. So I'm not the best source of information for that kind of stuff. But yeah. Next, we've got I believe, a representative of the Christian Nigerian community who will be attending the UTK rally, and he will be on stage, I believe, speaking.
Audience out there, I bring you greetings of grace, peace, joy, and love. I am Joan Zumbes, the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Bukuru in Nigeria. I will be speaking to you on the 16th of May on the trending issue of Christian persecution in Nigeria. The controversies surrounding that are what I would love to clear on that day, 16th day of May. So it's my desire that you come all out to listen to me. So I unpack to you the dimension that you've never had. This promises to be an event that will change your mindset and change your positions about all you have had, denying the reality of Christian persecution in Nigeria. As you plan to attend this program, I would love you to prepare equally to donate to the event through the website that accompanies this video. Looking forward to seeing you. Until then, it's bye-bye for now.
Yeah, good stuff. That was the I forgot his name, but yeah, he was one of the representatives for that Christian, you know, the charity for Christian persecution. It's absolutely horrible what is happening in Nigeria. I don't really talk about it much on my channel, but I've seen loads and loads of clips on X of women and children being unalived. I'm not going to say the word, but they're unalived just because they're Christians. The Islamization of Nigeria is happening in real time, and it's even more shocking than it is in any Western country in Europe. You know, I think Nigeria is a really good example of what truly radical Islam could do to a Christian country. You know, Nigeria has always pivoted around, you know, pagan sort of tribal communities until Christianity came into the culture. But yeah, radical Muslims are taking over Nigeria. So yeah, it's pretty horrible. It is pretty horrible. So what we're experiencing in the UK with the persecution of Christians, in terms of free speech and free demonstration, you know, I get that street preachers are being arrested on the streets of London. You know, all they're doing is preaching on the streets the Bible, and suddenly 4 police officers round them up. But this pales in comparison to what's happening in Nigeria. People are getting persecuted, butchered, unalived, having their lives ruined. Sometimes, you know, they've had to evacuate and out of whole areas, you know, whole communities, evacuating entire areas, leaving their homeland and moving from place to place. Pretty shocking stuff. But yeah, apparently Sharon Osbourne is going to be attending the rally as well. Not sure if I can. Here's the problem with everything, all of this equipment covering my screen. Where's that post? There was an X post that said she would be attending the event. Where's it gone now? Yeah, Sharon Osbourne set to attend next United Kingdom rally.
Osbourne has announced that she is set to attend Tommy Robinson's next anti-immigration march in London. The reality TV star and wife of the late Ozzy Osbourne announced that she would be showing up to the controversial far-right activist rally called Unite the Kingdom, which aims to bring London to a total standstill. Last year, the rally saw over 100,000 people turn up, and it led to several incidents of violence. Sharon has become more politically outspoken in recent years, expressing her support for anti-immigration campaigns, as well as expressing interest in running for a Birmingham City Council seat.
Yeah, that's a really stupid thing to say, isn't it? Far right rally, 2 incidents of violence, only 2 out of what, 100,000 people. It wasn't even 100,000. I guarantee you, it was a minimum of 1 million people. That was the mainstream media for you. And apparently, she works for a charity, I think. Well, she no longer works for that charity. But anyways, Centrepoint, which is supposed to be a charity for homeless people to help out people who are stuck on the streets, homeless, says they are cutting ties with Sharon Osbourne after she backs Tommy Robinson rally. A homelessness charity distances itself after Osbourne says she plans to attend the far-right Unite the Kingdom march. This is cancel culture in a nutshell. Sharon Osbourne. The minute you step out of line and do something as controversial as backing someone who is allegedly racist and belonging to the far right types like Tommy Robinson, what is far right? How is Tommy Robinson racist, far right, white supremacist? How can you attach those labels to him? How is he racist? Explain. You never get an answer from these types of people. You know, all they do is slander and smear you and cancel you, as in the example of Sharon Osbourne. You know, and by the way, an event like the United Kingdom, isn't it supposed to promote messages of hope and in support for homeless people, homeless veterans? You know, so much for homelessness, so much for helping people out there on the streets, when you actually quash the very movements who support genuine problems in our country, such as homeless veterans being left to die on the streets of Britain. Whilst there's third world migrants from Africa, from Morocco, from Afghanistan, from whatever country coming in to our country and being housed in these 5-star luxury hotels. How is that even fair? How is that even ethical? A charity like that, and it's the same story with Nick Buckley as well. Apparently the charity that he worked for what, 20 plus years, they had him cancelled because he said something controversially outrageous, quote unquote. It's yeah, it's pretty it's a good example of the mob mentality, you know. I bet some of these people who work for these organizations, some of them actually, they don't really believe in that sort of left-wing nonsense, that kind of indoctrination garbage that gets spilled out by the government and their education system. They're just too wimpy, cowardly, and weak to actually support truth and common sense. They're too cowardly to speak out. That's their problem. That's their problem. And so they decided, instead of actually having a dialogue, instead of actually having a proper conversation, to sit down with Sharon Osbourne about, you know, why are you attending this rally? What are your motivations, you know? Like, at least have that discussion. But no, they decided to cut ties with Sharon. It's just absolutely awful, you know? It's just ridiculous. The state of this country with cancel culture, and still very prevalent all across. It's not just, you know, remember that, do you remember that guy last week who works for Waitrose? Was it Waitrose or Morrison's? He got sacked for tackling a shoplifter, and it's been happening for months on end. He was the one who got sacked from his job after working for was it Morrison's or Waitrose for what, 30 plus years? That was his only job. He came on Good Morning Britain, and that was his only job for his entire life. He supports his family with that full-time job, working for the supermarket, and decided to sack him for what? Tackling a shoplifter, someone who's committing a crime. The guy who commits a crime doesn't really suffer the same consequences. He's let loose. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have to support a family. He doesn't get prosecuted in the same way or punished in the same fashion. Why do the people who try to do good or who attempt to do something virtuous for their own community or to restore a little bit of faith in humanity, they're the ones who get punished? This is the kind of flippy-floppy, topsy-turvy world that we're living in. You know? Boycott Waitrose. Don't shop at Waitrose. Don't shop at Morrison's. Don't shop at any of these supermarkets. They're just big fat corporations who only care about maintaining the status quo. How can you sack someone for just tackling a shoplifter? You know, obviously, you're kind of putting yourself at risk, but shouldn't he be titled as a hero for doing something like that? That takes some courage and bravery. But yeah. Anyways, I've got to organize all these videos because you can only show 10 videos backstage at a time, so it's really complicated, really annoying. Right, oh fuck's sake. Right, here's our big man Richard, the scruffy old Ulster Inman, giving some practical advice for anyone who's attending the Unite the Kingdom rally.
The UK are not going to win. We're going to win, but we need to come together to win. There needs to be unity. There needs to be real unity.
So, Richard, give people advice in relation to preparing to attend an amazing event on May the 16th.
Well, get your walking shoes on for one. Make sure you've got some comfortable footwear. Make sure you bring plenty of water with you, because it could be it's a beautiful day today. It's April. Earlier on it was freezing cold, now it's really warm. Make sure you bring plenty of water, keep yourself hydrated. I don't want to sound like a killjoy, but don't be going on a piss for 3 hours before you come on the demo. One, you won't enjoy it as much. If you're sober, you're able to soak up the celebration, really have a very good time. And come with a mindset that what we're talking about when we're doing this event is about uniting people and bringing the people of the UK together. The only way we're going to beat the enemies of the UK, which are the Islamists, the communists and the globalists, the only way we're going to beat that is by coming together, the good, normal people of the United Kingdom, of all backgrounds, all races, all colours, coming together as one, wrapped in the Union Jack, you know, like me and Paul always say, with red, white and blue in our hearts, coming together as one and coming together to celebrate what it means to be British and celebrate the United Kingdom, and to put a massive amount of pressure on the, how can I say anything politely about him, the inept, snivelling Prime Minister that we've got. That's me being polite about him. So we need to let them know what we're about. We need to let them know that we are the people of the United Kingdom. We are the majority of people of the United Kingdom. The enemies of the UK are not going to win. We're going to win, but we need to come together to win. There needs to be unity. There needs to be real unity. Put all your troubles and all your infighting aside, come together and celebrate what it means to be British on the 16th of May.
A lot of people are preparing, millions of people are preparing to come to London. A lot of them are asking, where's the muster point? When is it likely that people will find out more details in regards to May the 16th? So what's the likely time frame for people being informed?
Very soon. We'll be putting out very soon. We've got that worked out. We know what the plan is, but we want to be very specific in what we say. So when we put that plan out, that people understand fully where they should be going and what they should be doing. And we will be doing that, I would imagine, this week. That's going to have to go out really soon. And it's a great route. It's a really good route, and it's going to make a massive. Well, it's a big imprint on the city of London. The march is going to bring London to a standstill for sure.
I'm muted. Yes, rookie mistake. But as I was saying, yeah, Richard, the Ulster bin man, just delivered that message. But yeah, so the message that I took from that was bring your walking shoes, bring plenty of water, stay sober, bring your biggest smile, and make sure your heart is red, white, and blue. That's the message. But yeah, every time I go to these rallies, I bring what's called a hydro pack. It's one of those, you know, kind of silicon vessels, and you put some water in it, fill it up, put it in your backpack. There's a little tube that you can drink water from. That's what I bring onto my hiking expeditions as well, or when I'm walking or going on coastal walks or whatever. Yeah, I'll be bringing that to the rally. I always bring that to my rally because with water bottles, you run out of water quite easily. But yeah, comfortable shoes, plenty of water, stay sober, and I think the thing is, like, a lot of people don't seem to understand. This is about bringing everyone together. This is about bringing families together. There's children at these rallies. There's no reason to kick up a fuss, to be, you know, shouting loudly, or to be causing a rabble, or to be behaving in an uncivilized manner, especially when you're confronted with the police. You know the way the police are going to be on the day. You know, every single time they bring their riot gear, they bring this very intimidating attitude, but just ignore the police, honestly. I have no trust or faith in the police. It was last time, on the 13th of September, that when we were just about to go across the bridge, the police were the ones who escorted a crowd of us to go along a kind of detour, an alternative route, to see if we could reach around to reach to reach our way to the center stage, to the main stage where the main gathering spot was, and to go across another bridge. And we just end up right in the midst of what was a stand up for rapism protest. What was that all about? That's why I have no trust or faith in the police. Whatever the police say, I'm not even gonna. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them on their word. But yeah, let's just bring some of the critics of the Unite the Kingdom rally. Some faces of some of these people you will know, some others you may not know. But yeah, let's just see what Narinder Kerr has to say about Sharon Osbourne. I was supposed to play this earlier. What she has to say about Sharon Osbourne attending the rally.
Well, in news that surprises no one, Sharon Osbourne says she'll be attending the far-right Tommy Robinson march. And I'm sorry, but you don't get to say, I'm not a racist, but I am going to go on Tommy Robinson's march. I'm not saying she has said that, but the people who do, and if she says that, you are a racist. It's just my opinion. You are entitled to go. You're entitled to your point of view. And my point of view is, if you align with a march alongside someone like Tommy Robinson, who is known for his racist and Islamophobic narrative and rhetoric, and people who go on his march are known for that, in my opinion, you know exactly what you're marching for, and you do not get to tell me that you're not a racist because you're worried about something else. Sorry, not on my watch. I know what you're about. And that's okay. But please accept that's what I think of you. Actually, you don't even have to, whatever. But Sharon Osbourne, what an absolute bellend. Honestly, you disgust me.
Wow. The quantity of self-delusion from this woman. She's the one who's been attending all these pro-Plasticine marches, hasn't she? And for you to call someone a bellend for just attending a very peaceful, harmonious demonstration, really. It's not even a protest. It's just a demonstration of people who've been fed up by this government quashing people's freedom to speak and shafting us into paying endless amounts of tax towards people on benefits and for the importation of third world migrants. That's what you have to understand, Narinder Kaur, but sure, of course you don't. So I do accept that you are acknowledging me and the rest of these people who are attending the rally and the people in the chat as far-right racists. I mean, that's your prerogative, but yeah, that's... I don't understand the logical rationale, the rational mindset of people like Narinder Kaur. You know, what is racist about this Tommy rally? You know, are the majority of these people attending these rallies? What makes them racist? What makes them far right? Sharon Osbourne, how is she vile? How is she a bell end? How is she monstrous in your eyes for attending a rally like that? You know, explain, use rational thinking. But yeah, it's absolutely awful. Here's another woman who's appeared on Michelle Dewberry's GB News panel describing the Tommy rally.
Years. You know, you can't put them necessarily in the same basket as Palestine Action. You can't put a lot of people who might be marching for different reasons in the same bracket as a Tommy Robinson Britain First march, which many people would find equally horrible.
Oh, come off it. What do you mean Tommy Robinson Britain First? What are you talking about?
His disgusting, hate-filled, racist rants that don't usually attract very many people. But if you're going to ban one lot, you've got to ban another.
Hold on a second. When you say, I mean, because there's another one of these Tommy Robinson organised events coming up in May. I can't remember the date now, but in May. And when you say hardly anyone attends at all, I would beg to differ with that. I would say that those events actually are attended by hundreds of thousands of people that are not the type of people that you describe, Britain First, hate-filled, racist, whatever it was that you've just described. There are millions of people in this country now, Joe, that are sick to the back teeth of what has been done to this country. This country, I mean, you can barely even seem to go a day, it feels like, certainly not a week, about reading a story about some not so small boat migrant or so-called asylum seeker having grabbed, kidnapped some teenage girl, raped her. You read stories about demographic change, 7 million immigrants, I think it is, coming in over the next
or
years.
you end up with
HMOs, people are sick of it, Joe, right? They keep going to the ballot boxes. They keep being good little decent people, doing everything that Keir Starmer, etc., tells them to do. Sit in your box, go to the ballot paper, sit there chanting diversity is our strength. People are sickened by it. They have no roots, they have no options and no outlets.
Well, they do have options.
So they take to the streets and they peacefully march. Then people like you are essentially calling those people racist, hate-filled, Britain First type mobs. Yeah. They're just normal people.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Some of them might be, in the same way that some of the people who march with, March for Palestine are not
moral
agitators.
relativism.
Look at the people who went on the rampage in Epsom over a reported sexual assault that the police have now said didn't actually happen. You know, it was whipped up, and it's whipped up on social media, and the sort of insidious inference is, oh, that'll be migrants.
Joe, hold on. Sorry, I can't.
Everyone you...
Oh my God, just the audacity to be using that kind of terminology to describe people that you don't even know. And this is the problem with leftists. They speak on the behalf of people you don't actually know. And even, the anti-capitalists, I don't, personally, I'm not a big supporter of capitalism. I don't mean to sound like a leftist, but I'm not a big fan of, hedonistic, materialistic, this materialistic culture that we're living in, this capitalist state that we're living in. But yeah, even the anti-capitalists, they speak on the behalf of people that they have no understanding of. They think that people, society operates on group identity alone, and that human beings are fundamentally just unchanging, that human nature doesn't change, human character doesn't change. When she describes these people as vile, hate-filled, misogynistic, racist, far-right, white supremacist, bigoted, how? Explain to me. I mean, Michelle Dewberry nailed it on the spot. These are just people who are sick to the back teeth, and they're fed up with what the government has been doing to the people of this great country, shafting people to death by making people pay for the migrants staying in the hotels, paying for the channel crossings, paying for potholes on the streets, paying for a dilapidated infrastructure in Britain, paying for endless proxy wars being fought, which have nothing to do with Britain's national interests. The people of this country are being shafted by this government, by elected politicians that are supposed to represent their own constituency, into doing things that affect their lives, but they personally have no say in. They have no personal kind of influence upon. So this is a country that is in trouble, and that's what Michelle Jury was describing. So no, we're not vile, we're not racist. There is nothing hate-filled about criticisms, very valid criticisms about what the government is doing to this country. When you bring in sways and sways, like schools of migrants over the channel, I'm going to show you a video later that Danny Tomo did during one of his expeditions. It's absolute madness. You know, these people live in their gated communities. They know nothing about whatever's happening over the channel, and they're completely detached from reality. And they're the ones who are entitled. They feel entitled to be commenting on this sort of stuff when they have no actual grasp on the real information that's supposed to be issued by the mainstream media, but isn't. But anyways, yeah, they're just completely living in their own bubble, in their own world. Lefty loonies. So here's another one who's supposed to be on our side, but isn't really on our side. I don't really know what he actually represents. The king of all morons, Piers Morgan. You know, let's hear
English
what he has to say. He's commenting on Tommy Robinson.
There's a lot of white English people that you would trade for a good weekly chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
Would you trade any other groups of people in England?
Well, yeah, of course
for
I
food?
would. And nobody has actually asked me, so thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, this is
who I meant by a lot of white English people. It was people like Tommy Robinson and his followers who'd been spewing the most horrific racist abuse in the last 3 weeks or so. And I would quite happily swap Tommy Robinson for a chicken tikka masala. The general point I was making is that I believe that my country, England, is not fallen. It's not stricken. It's not been invaded by foreigners. I believe there are genuine, legitimate issues in our country about the way immigration has been handled. But we are and remain a template, actually, of how multiculturalism can work. However, I have also been supportive of people like Robinson when they've been exposing the grooming gangs and things like that. I don't pretend there aren't issues with immigration. I do hit back at the idea that my country is fallen and that somehow England, or London in particular, has been run over and it's like Armageddon here. Honestly, come to England, come to London, I'll take you out for a chicken tikka masala or a fish and chips, and you won't see a country that's fallen. But you will see that successive governments on left and right have woefully mishandled our immigration strategy. So look, it was a bit of what we would call in England, Benny, a wind-up. You know when you go fishing and you just go, and you catch a few people in your net? It was designed for people like Tommy Robinson, who, if he's watching, Tommy, if you have a problem with my joke, come on my show. You've been bottling it. We both know why you're bottling it. You prefer to do interviews with people who don't ask you difficult questions about what you stand for and what you've been up to. Come on the show and let's have it out. And we can do it over a chicken tikka masala.
So you would trade the grooming gangs, though, for
100%.
Yes.
Listen, there are bad people in my country and your country of all skin colors, all religious persuasions.
Oh,
all
here we
types
go
of
again.
classes.
Cultural relativism.
And I would trade
Suicidal
many
empathy
in my country for a chicken tikka masala as I would in the United States. So I'm really addressing, I think, a lot of the worst elements who talk about immigration, because I don't think it's been amplified in the correct manner. What we've seen is a legitimate debate, often being hijacked by extremists on all sides. And I'm making that point where I think we need to have a more measured, considered debate about what the real issues are and how we deal with it without tumbling into racism Or, on the other side, defense of the indefensible with people who hid and covered up the grooming gang scandal for so long. Both to me are equally unpalatable, and I would swap both sides of that coin for a chicken tikka masala.
There's a lot.
Absolutely ridiculous. Nothing but nonsense, drivel, and garbage. It's utter garbage. This Piers Moron, these are the types of people who should be on our side, who should be defending truth, common sense, actual British values, Western values, and be stamping down on the wave of immigration, illegal and legal immigration. But he doesn't. He's happy to be tucking into his chicken tikka masala. I wonder what kind of areas he actually hangs out in. When he's talking about come to the UK, come to London, I'll take you out for a chicken tikka masala. Which areas do you actually hang out in? Have you spent time in Brixton? Have you spent time in areas of London that are completely dilapidated, taken over by multiculturalism? The kind of multiculturalism as being a success story that you're talking about is overly sensationalized on mainstream media. It's not the version that we're referencing as being reality. The reality of modern day UK, spelt YOOKAY, is characterized by rundown shops, endless amounts of Turkish barbers, vape shops, money laundering businesses, and people who just don't belong in this country. They spit on the streets, they stalk women at night, they commit illicit activity, they don't assimilate, not integrate, but they don't assimilate into British society. And why are there so many people in London? Like, forget about the rest of the UK. Why are there people in London who've lived there for a substantial number of years who don't speak adequate English? Do you ever get that when you're on the phone line with someone who, you need to ask questions for, you got issues with your bank, you got issues with insurance, you got issues with your car, you got issues with your various bits and bobs of, things that need to be solved in the moment. You're speaking to the person on the opposite side of the phone and they can't speak a word of English, or they can't understand what you're saying, or their accent is so fucking bloody thick. That's the way they talk. And you can't hear what they're saying. That is not a cohesive society. That stimulates what's called a low trust society. That is something that Piers Morgan simply doesn't understand. Well, he probably understands it. He probably acknowledges it, but he's too weak and cowardly to admit it. He's all about this suicidal empathy and about being as hospitable to the right kinds of immigrants. What right kind of immigrants are you referencing? Because the number of immigration that is sweeping all across Europe and America is actually a burden on the country. It's not benefiting or contributing in any way positively to British society or Western society. All this diversity of cuisine, of culture, of food, of tradition. This is just like London and the UK, various towns and cities in the UK are basically a mix of ethno-cultural enclaves. There is no real diverse, assimilated multi-ethnicity being practiced. Multi-ethnicity, it can function to a certain degree, but not with the levels of immigration that we're having. If it can happen in small, very incremental levels of immigration, I can definitely understand that, but not with mass immigration. Certainly, London is not a very good example, is it? Yeah, you can tuck into your chicken tikka masala or your chicken curry happily, whilst there are people living in this country who have to deal with all of this stuff that I just talked about. Third world immigration, being a stranger in your own country. That's the problem. That's why the ethnic indigenous Brits are fed up with the way that this country is heading. That's why ethno-purist kind of movements and people like Steve Laws, whether he's right or wrong or not, that's why they gain prominence. It's because of problems that arise out of mass immigration. What part of that do you not understand? Oh, what was I going to show? Oh, yeah, this one. This is an immigrant who is on the pro-Palestine spectrum, and he's describing Tommy Robinson rally as a far-right rally. There's supposed to be a pro-Palestine march that is due to be set up on the 16th of May, and it coincides with Tommy's rally, and suddenly this man appears.
The Scotland Yard.
And he's got big... And he's appearing jealous of the sheer quantity of people that will be turning up to that rally.
Outside the Scotland Yard, because the police have made a decision to allow a march for Tommy Robinson and the far right on the very day that the Palestinian supporters have a march to commemorate the Nakba, which happens on the 15th of May, but the march will take place on the 16th. So the police have not responded to the request that went in December of last year, but they've allowed this hate march. It truly is a hate march by Tommy Robinson. So we are here to hand a letter to the police asking them to change their decision to allow the annual May the 15th march. My name is Kamel Hawash, and I am from Birmingham, and I used to be the chair of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign.
Oh, that is absolutely awful. Oh, well, boo-hoo. Your pro-Palestine march is going to get enough clicks and views, all because a far-right Tommy Robinson rally has been organised on the same day. Wow, boo-hoo. Yeah. Nobody's really interested in those kinds of protests anyways. And listen to his accent as well, yeah. Totally. Right, here's another interesting individual who's been very outspoken about her views on the general right-wing community. And she's also outspoken about the Unite the Kingdom rally. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hands on Tommy Robinson's hooligans, and actually worse than hooligans, when they've been marching every week, terrorizing people of color. Where are the bans?
Well, there are no bans against the pro-Palestinian marches.
Yeah, but these are violent people I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about democratic.
Well, there have equally been...
no, but there are no bans.
Been arrests.
Why are there no bans on them?
Anti-Semitic language on the pro-Palestinian marches as well.
I'm sorry. I've been on the pro-Palestine marches.
But there have been arrests for anti-Semitic language.
This has all been a vendetta at one point against those who won't give up. There are some nasty people who go on pro-Palestine marches. I know that, and I've seen it, and one of them even took a picture of me marching past them. These are some of the risks that happen. But this is not about that. It is an authoritarian state, and where they don't stop make Britain white again, all of those people, and they stop this, it tells you something.
Make Britain white again.
Describes her in the I newspaper as a mini despot. She really had what she used to be, what I remember her as. Something happens to these guys. Something really weird happens to these guys, and they become these people. This is a fundamental right. I hate the Ayatollah's lot.
Oh, she's commenting about something else. But yeah, listen to this woman, yeah? Make Britain white again. When has anyone ever coined that phrase? Or has there been any movement or demonstration being set up with those words in mind? Make Britain white again. I don't think any of the Tommy Robinson rally organisers have been influenced by that. Make Britain white again. And she says that these are very violent people. Who? Give me some names. Give me footage, video evidence of people kicking up a fuss and lashing back with fists and punches. No, there are a number of occasions where this has happened, but not on a mass scale, not a huge number or a large quantity on the United Kingdom rallies. But yeah,
are not.
Oh yeah, this is her commenting on the asylums processing
These people
of
are
migrants.
not the devils arriving on our shores. Some of them come from Afghanistan, where we went in, right? 25 years ago, and we abandoned. Why don't we've so dehumanized them that we've dehumanized ourselves in the process.
The problem is, Yasmin, we haven't said...
Listen to what I said.
However, what I am going to say is some people that we have let in have done horrific things.
They're not all of them.
But I didn't
Horrific
say that. I
things
didn't
are done
say
by
that.
everybody.
But you've got to admit the same thing the other way around. You can't say that everybody who comes here is, you know, the second
I didn't
coming
say,
of Jesus.
have I said that?
But no, but I didn't say the other thing.
The
And you tried to
children,
down me.
what have
But this is-
children done? What have the children done?
What about the people that have been murdered by migrants who have come here who have no right to be here?
Yeah,
That's
no.
this Christmas, there will be an empty place
This is
at
how
that
it
table.
happens.
And that's the point.
I'm sorry, Tim. This is how it happens. This is what happened in 1930s in Germany. You pick a group, you demonize them. One of them does something wrong. One of them does, and then the whole group is demonized to the point where there was a genocide. Do not
you
go
actually
there.
think this is going to lead to a genocide? I've heard of some hyperbole, but that is utterly ridiculous because all you have to do is have a fair and balanced.
We haven't had
alternative
that.
system. But we haven't had it because people like you keep banging on about the fact that everybody here is a
because
doctor
I'm the
or a
only one
surgeon.
capable.
They are.
Very few of us dare to defend these people because we're told they are the devils.
Let's get another.
Oh my god, this woman is absolutely just ridiculous. Every word that comes out of her mouth is outrageously stupid, idiotic. Doesn't she understand that the asylum system in our country is being hijacked by people with nefarious intentions? You know, I get that not all of them are the devils who are coming into this country, but they shouldn't even be in this country in the first place. And if you have one or two of them who are the devils, who do such horrific crimes, who actually stalk and predate on white working class girls, that's already bad enough. Let me ask you guys a question. If I offered you a basket of 100 apples, but then one or two of them were poisonous, you didn't know which one of them was poisonous, it's buried under the stash, would you use those apples and go ahead and make it and use them to make an apple crumble? Would you use them to make an apple sauce? Would you take them all in and just pretend like nothing is wrong? I mean, there's only one or two that are poisonous. I mean, they could potentially kill me, but you know, I'll take my chances. You wouldn't, would you? This is the kind of suicidal empathy that comes out of people like Yasmin Ali Brown. The fact that she doesn't understand that these people are crossing from countries like Morocco, like North Africa, like Afghanistan, as she mentioned, Afghanistan, which is halfway across the world. If they're going to be seeking asylum, they should be seeking asylum in a safe country, ideally in their own continent. Why do they have to come all the way across the Northern Hemisphere to the UK to cross over 20 plus safe countries just to get to the UK? It's all about the benefits, isn't it? A bit of logical thinking, Yasmin. Do you know, why do they have to come all the way to here? They're not seeking asylum. Where are the women? Where are the children? Why is it all fighting age, young adults, young men? People who have 2 arms, 2 legs, who don't really seem that awfully stricken by war. You don't see a lot of them with missing arms or limbs. In fact, you never do. Like, when have you ever seen one of these asylum seekers, these refugees, right, with a missing arm, with a missing limb, with a missing leg, who's got half his face torn apart because he's been blown, his face been blown up by shrapnel, you know, escaping war-torn countries, who've been escaping conflict-ridden areas of their own country? Are they genuine refugees, or are they people who are taking advantage of the benefit system, the generous benefit system that's being controlled by this Labour government and the Tory government as well? Where's the rational, logical thinking there? Honestly, why do they have to cross over the entirety of Europe just to get to the UK? It's not a real genuine asylum, is it? Just stay in, well, I wouldn't say stay in France, but like, there is no reason for you to transfer in between different countries. First, you end up in Lampedusa in Italy, then you land onto Spain, then you come through Germany, then you come through France, and eventually you get to the UK. What's the point of that? They're not really Jews. They're not really asylum seekers, are they then? They're just economic migrant opportunists. You can't really blame the migrants themselves as well. It's the whole system, it's the whole establishment that encapsulates this whole illegal immigration processing. They are illegal immigrants. They have broken UK law. They've come onto British soil illegally. They have breached the borders. There is no argument there. There is no argument. There is no debate. It's just truth and facts and logical thinking, which people like Narinder Kaur and Yasmin Levi Brown seem to lack for some odd reason. And let's just show this video and see if Yasmin Levi Brown can catch up to it. Look at the state of the English channel. Look at the state of migrants that are coming over. And this is Danny Tomo, who's been doing all this expose, doing all the work to expose all of the
couple of
asylum
today's
seekers.
videos are going to shock you and show you why it's so important that something happens. Because what you're about to see is from today. You're going to see how these individuals are behaving within the camps, their conduct within a confined environment with many of them around, and see how they behave, the way they're behaving. And the second video is again from the beaches this morning and this is a lengthy video, so please watch it, because if you want to see what's really going on, then watch this video. It's about 4-5 minutes long. Okay, if you want to switch off and go do something, go and do something in the household, then that's fine. But if you want to know what's really going on this morning on those beaches and how the inaction of anyone around them to even go and confront them, even the ones that are stood with no water even touching them by the beaches, that they're just standing there and literally being allowed to get onto these vessels whilst the military surround them like they're going to suddenly attack them, when in reality they are chaperoning them into our waters and offloading their third world into our country. Have a look at this. It's insanity.
Bloody hell, look at that. It's like an open market for abuse. Do any of them have a missing limb? Why is it they look like they can stand up on their own 2 feet? They don't look unhealthy at all, or going through famine or whatever, starved to death. Look at the life jackets as well. It's clean and fresh, and they don't look used at all. Very strange, isn't it?
Tu trouves pas que c'est calme l'embarquement par rapport à d'habitude?
This is in Calais. That is absolute madness. Look at that, guys. Look at that. That boat is going to capsize anyway.
Et cet avion là, on sait pas où il est. Hein. Il est derrière, il est dans les au-dessus du... Ah ouais? Je le vois pas parce que si je lève la tête, je vais plus pouvoir filmer. C'est étrange, il y en a pas un qui bouge. Est-ce qu'ils ont fait des groupes?
I'm supposed to have downloaded a video, but I forgot to. Shoot. There's a video I was going to show you. But it's gone now. Let me try downloading one of the videos. Fuck's sake. Copy, paste, YouTube to MP4. Yeah, in the meantime, just leave your comments. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at the state of that. They're not refugees, are they? They're not escaping war. They're escaping out of a safe country and moving on to a safer country, which isn't even safe in the first place anymore, not safe anymore, to take advantage of the benefits. Absolutely awful. It is absolutely awful. Let me tell you that. Okay. Video file. Video playback. Okay, I've got a hold of the video that I wanted to show, but anyways, show that later. Let me talk about this post that I spotted on X. It's to do with the state of immigration. It's not just illegal immigration. Look at legal immigration. When you engage in something called suicidal empathy, which I have referenced many, many times on this channel, you allow in foreign nationals who don't assimilate and in fact have really, really bad intentions. It can all go tits up and it goes horribly wrong. Read this. Listen carefully. Absolutely horrific. This gay couple let a foreign national stay at their flat in London. He stabbed, I can't say the word, but he got a knife and he wanted them to death while filming having sex with him, and then smashed the other's skull in with a hammer. He danced and he sang afterward. He then got their throats in them. Mosquera earlier on had pleaded guilty to 3 charges of possessing indecent images of children, for which he was sentenced to 16 months in jail. He will serve the sentence concurrently with his double murder sentence. Mr. Justice Benetton said Mosquera was actively involved in network sharing indecent images of children. The judge added when sentencing the Colombian national, "Your laptop contained thousands of appalling pictures and films the gross sexual abuse of very, very young children." So this is the problem. Suicidal empathy. When you think that all other cultures are just as virtuous, just as tolerant and civilized as Western society is, that's when you encounter not problems, but real catastrophes. I mean, the gay couple, they let in a foreign national to stay at their flat, and he ended up unaliving them in the most brutal fashion, in the most horrific manner. And he had previous convictions for indecent, gross sexual misconduct, or retaining images and videography of indecency. This is the risk of not knowing what the people the character of the people that you're importing. That's the risk that is involved with this. You cannot be sympathetic towards people who don't share the same values and the same moral framework, the same worldview as you do. Legal immigration is just as big a problem, if not worse. And look at this. Let me show you this video. This is the state of the Islamization.
Yo, bro, salamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Hold up, akhi, you can't pray in here. This is a church.
Brother, it used to be a church. Not anymore. This is what makes Britain great. Come on inside, my brother, and have a look. Bismillah. Upsy daisy, though. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Masjid al-Huda, Preston, Lancashire. Used to be a, see, got the good old timber still here. This is where our Imam would deliver the Friday sermon. It's got such a beautiful aura about the place, honestly. You have to come. Like, words can't describe that feeling. But nevertheless, let me take you over here. Let's have a look. So yeah, this place was actually late 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. But as you can see, now it's a beautiful mosque. If you love me, keep my commandments. And we've got a beautiful verse from the Quran. Truly those fear Allah amongst His servants who have knowledge, subhanallah. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. And say, when the truth is heard against falsehood, falsehood perishes. For falsehood is by its nature bound.
Oh my god. It's absolutely, utterly despicable. A white indigenous Brit subverting his own culture, his own heritage, and replacing it with a foreign one. The Islamization of Britain. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. And one X post I actually encountered, it was a video of a carer who left a 98-year-old woman who was in her care in a shopping centre. She left her there, sitting on her own, inside of a cafe or a restaurant, while she went shopping. This was in Ireland. I think it was an Irish woman that points the camera at this carer and confronts her, complaining that she left a 98-year-old. I believe she has dementia as well. Just left her all by herself. I can't really hear this. I don't know if you can hear it on this screen, but she's been saying, like, you're her carer. You're going out shopping while she's sitting alone. This woman has dementia. Okay, she can't do anything all by herself. You're paid to care for this woman, and you're going out. Too much noise in my restaurant. Let's keep the fucking idiot. This is the problem with some of these carers. I have noticed this whilst I'm out delivering. I have seen a lot of people in, elderly care homes, or, people who are who've got disabilities. I deliver to them. I see that a lot of the carers are from Nigeria, or predominantly from African countries, and I wonder why. Why is it that the majority of the caring, the care home, elderly care industry in the UK is always being dominated by Nigerians? There's nothing. I don't think there's anything inherently right or wrong about that, but from the comments that I've seen under this post, a lot of people are saying that the types of carers that these agencies are recruiting, they're not people who are well trained or educated in this sort of line of work. And this is a massive problem, because these elderly people and people who are, disabled, they need to be receiving the right care, but clearly they're not. So I'm going to read out some of the comments. She's probably spending the old lady's money. Yep. I don't doubt that for a second. Terrible. Anything could have happened to that lady. When your first response is defense because you're wrong. You are wrong. This woman needs to be sacked. Fair play to that young Irish girl. Let's go back to a time where we cared. I was a carer for many years, and this makes my blood boil. I would have been severely disciplined or sacked if I'd done this. I think the quality of care in the UK has really gone downhill in recent years. Poorly trained people with a totally wrong attitude. These effing Nigerians and whatnot shouldn't be here, let alone being entrusted with care roles. Get them gone. The carers they are importing from Africa, I wouldn't trust them to look after my dog. They are not trained, and in my experience, are best suited to light housework. This is a big problem in England. I know, because I witnessed it with my own mother. The care homes pay minimum wage, and the majority who take the work are Africans who have zero experience of caring for the elderly. Always have a spy camera in your relative's home in a care home. Been in many houses as a plumber where there are Nigerian carers. 95% of the time, they're all the same. They're very lazy. They don't care towards their patient. Once I had a house, they had 3 carers who sat watching television all day while the poor woman was in the garden naked. Very worrying. Some carer starts shouting when confronted with what she has done. She could not care less. I see this every day in shopping centres. Foreign unqualified agency carers on their phones for hours, whilst the unfortunate elderly clients stare into middle distance, sinking deeper into oblivion. Never let any foreigner care for any vulnerable white person just beneath the surface. They hate all white people but love our money. Don't get me wrong, we have our own nutballs, we have our own wrongings, but not to this extreme. I work in a supermarket, and some carers seriously disturb me these days. We have reported 2 this year for terrible behaviour. This is how these black people treat people. They are void of any sense of compassion, empathy, kindness, and respect. I'm truly convinced they also lack self-awareness. My mother's 98 and living with us here in Kerry, and I would rather die than have a black or brown carer look after her. So, this is the problem, right? There is no coincidence that people resort to racism, that resort to racial profiling of black people, of Nigerian people. It's when people of this kind who demonstrate bad behavior, a bad attitude, and a terrible quality of care. That's not even care. You're not even caring for her. You're just taking advantage of your time. You don't have to do anything to care for her because she's got dementia. She can't speak. She can't interact or anything. So you go out shopping whilst leaving her all alone. And I haven't say I've personally witnessed it, but the kind of attitude that a lot of these people in the comments are referencing, excuse me, I can definitely understand because I do observe it myself. Just, you know, from daily interactions with these alleged Nigerian carers. Some of them are absolutely awful. Some of them have the worst attitudes. They don't talk to you. They don't make eye contact with you. They, on the surface, they look a bit lazy. They don't look very professional. And it just doesn't seem like they're very competent in their own industry. You know? So, yeah, it's an absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. No wonder there's racial discrimination towards Nigerians and black people. Because of this, you know? It's not, you know, stereotypes don't just randomly occur. This is called pattern recognition. We are observing time and time again behaviors and pattern-related behaviors like this. Let me know your thoughts. Nigerian carers. I've got no problems with people of, you know, black people or people with skin color, but racial discrimination, stereotyping, and racial profiling, I'm just saying, it doesn't arise out of thin air. It just doesn't come out of coincidence. It comes out of stuff like this. It's called pattern recognition, right? And the problem with some of them as well, they don't even speak English, let alone good English. Let's show a clip by Montgomery Toms. He was talking about this, about the state of England, about people not being able to speak English.
Social cohesion, this is exactly what I'm referencing. So today, went to the bank and went to withdraw some money. I had to spend ages in the queue because the majority of people in front of me couldn't speak proper English. The people that were doing cash withdrawals and sorting out stuff at the bank for their customers had to spend more time trying to help the customers understand what it is they were trying to say and do than actually just getting the job done. If you come to this country, you should speak good quality English. Public services, banks, post offices are literally having time stripped away from them for having to deal with people who can't speak English properly. It's just insane. We shouldn't be putting up with this. If you come to England, you speak English. Simple as that. It's little things like this that just amount to little frustrations every single day. And I went to the post office the other day and went to get a parcel posted, and I needed to get some string. So I said to the person that was running the post office, you know, do you have any string? He looked at me, he was like, what is string? I'm like, string, you're a post office. He's like, I do not understand what string is.
Oh, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Show him a picture. He's like, oh, that is string. Like, yeah, obviously this guy didn't speak good English and was a foreigner running a post office, whatever. It's just little things like that. I'm like, you don't know what string is and yet you're running a post office. Like, people need to speak our native language. It's one of the most fundamental parts of integration to live in a cohesive and strong society and have proper local communities.
God, that is absolutely awful. You know, how can you run a post office and not be able to speak good English, not be able to have a simple grasp on the English language, let alone, it doesn't matter about your accent, right? I don't care about people's accents. At least you should have a generally proficient pool of vocabulary in the English language if you lived here for a substantial number of years. Speak goddamn English in this country, you know, especially if you're in an industry which requires good communication skills and it's written in your CV and it is a job requirement, then you should be able to speak good English, regardless of your accent, right? And what Montgomery Thomas was referencing in his clip was that a lot of these daily occurrences, they amount to frustration. They amount to delays in, you know, the processes that occur on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. Is people who can't communicate properly. There's a language barrier. There shouldn't be a language barrier between people of a different culture or skin color but can't speak English. If you can't speak English, you might as well call yourself a tourist, right? It's as simple as that. You live in this country and you're settling here and you can't even speak good English. You can't even interact with people properly in English. You're just basically abusing this country's freedoms and the ability for you to be settled in here. But without you making that effort to assimilate yourself within British culture, to be able to actually make the effort to speak good English, at least if you have immigrants or foreigners who are making the effort to make little small improvements in their English every day, that counts as well. I mean, that's good enough. You know, at least you're trying your best. But some of these people, they live here for 10 plus years and they don't even try to at least self-introspect or improve on their own English. It's like, don't run a post office then. Don't work in the fucking retail industry, certainly not the restaurant industry. I used to work in hospitality in central London for 5 years myself, Guardian Moes. And I can't even count how many times there are restaurant staff or retail staff that can't even speak English. How can you be in a front-facing customer service role when you can't even speak English? I once went to a restaurant with my family. Went to a steakhouse celebrating my mum's birthday, and the steak wasn't really cooked to our standards, to any reasonable standards. It was quite subpar, and it didn't have a nice sear. You know, when you expect a steak being presented in front of you in a restaurant, you expect it to be well seared, you know, well colored. You know, it shouldn't look dull and grey. It should be nicely pan roasted, seared. And it should look appealing. And we mentioned to the waiter, who was of some kind of European country, European descent, who didn't really know what the word sear means. How can you work in a steakhouse and you don't know what the word sear means? Well seared. The steak isn't well seared. Please bring it back to the chef and make another one. Standards in this country, standards. That's what I'm talking about. That was the word that I was thinking of, standards. Why don't we have a good level of standards for people's English level? Not just their work, their skills, their competence, their knowledge in their industry. English. Your competence in English should be a metric as part of your recruitment, as part of your job eligibility, to be able to fit into that job role. Be able to speak good English. It's as simple as that. And this is another piece of news that was really quite infuriating. Another one of Richard the Ulster Bin Man's clips. There was a mural that was being painted in North Belfast, and it sparked police investigation. What did it demonstrate? What was the mural all about? The mural was showing a number of people kneeling in front of stone graves depicting Christian, English Christian crosses. And in the background, there were Islamic flags, and it was kind of denoting the Islamic takeover of the UK. So let's have a look.
Well, it's a Friday evening up here in North Belfast, and of course I could be sitting in the house having a couple of drinks, chilling out, maybe watching.
Right, you see that mural in the background? Sorry, it was all for nothing. It's on each other. I can't really read it properly. But yeah, the guy is kneeling in front of his stone grave, laying down flowers for the people who supposedly sacrificed their lives for the good of the nation. But all for what? For the Islamic takeover of Britain. This is what they sacrificed that their lives for. This reminds me of that 100-year-old veteran who came on Good Morning Britain and was saying that all of the hundreds and hundreds of boots that lay stomping up on the trenches during the First World War, what did they die for? What did they sacrifice their lives for? For this, the Islamic invasion.
A box set or something, but no, a patriot's work is never done. So I'm here instead in North Belfast with the lads who have been getting a little bit of heat from the local constabulary because they've put up what I consider to be a work of art, but again, some local politicians find it extremely offensive, which I find very, very strange. I think what's really annoyed me about this story is that you've got groups in this part of town who are totally patriotic, they love the country, they're doing a lot of good stuff for the community, they're raising money for the community, they're working with local sporting clubs, they're massively involved in promoting what's best about Newton Abbey, what's best about North Belfast, and yet they put a piece of artwork on the side of a wall, and because it is highlighting Islam and the threat from mass Islamic immigration, they've got the police breathing down their necks. Now, to me, this is none of the police's business. This is a civil matter. This is on the side of a gable wall of a house. The police shouldn't be taking any interest in this whatsoever. And we're going to watch this story. We're going to keep following this story, because if the police further pursue the gentlemen that have been involved in this, then we're going to take an interest in it as well, and we're going to be asking questions about why the police are doing that. And we also want to get to the bottom of finding out who's really behind this. Who is it that's pushing the agenda to close groups like the concerned parents groups down? And again, I've known these guys for a couple of years now. They used to join us in the protest that we did outside the Migrant Hotel in Bangor in North Down. And the fact that the police are coming and talking to them, to me, is chilling, because it takes a bit of fortitude when the police come to stand up to them, because again, nobody likes being talked to by the police for any reason. So we'll see what happens. We're going to keep following this story, and hopefully that beautiful piece of artwork will stay on that gable wall and it'll still be here in 6 months' time or a year. This wonderful piece of artwork behind me is causing a little bit of scandal in North Belfast, and politicians are getting involved, the police have got involved, goodness knows the local council, I'm sure they're involved as well, because they seem to get on everything, don't they? But the truth of the matter is, this is a beautiful piece of artwork, and if you look at it, you can see, beautifully put together, beautifully made. It has a message, and the message, I think, is very, very clear, that there's a massive problem in this country with Islamic immigration and all the problems that come with Islamic immigration. And that seems to be lost on the police, the council, and the politicians who have attacked this beautiful work of art. I'm going to talk to the lads here who know what's going on. They're from the area, and they've really got the finger on the pulse on this, but they said the information about, or the story about this piece of artwork has been viewed tens of thousands of times on Facebook just today. So this is one of those little stories that's going to go viral, but it's not about that. This is about freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom to think how you want to think and express yourself in artistic ways. And I'm sure there's many pieces of art down through the centuries that people have found hugely offensive. Some of them have been banned, and that's a sign of a totalitarian system, when artwork is getting banned, when people are threatening to take artwork off the walls that's been put up on.
So as you can see, a beautiful mural has been finished off here today in Newton Abbey, Rathfern. Concerned parents were just fitting trim around it there today whenever the police had approached us and asked us to take it down. We politely refused. This is our belief. This is our free speech being expressed. There seems to be some complaints about it. We don't really know where it's coming from, given what murals are all over the country. And specifically, they're wanting to ask about this one. I didn't see many people spoken to remove Bobby Sands memorials or anything else. At the end of the day, this is not paramilitary related. This is a community group expressing the dangers that we believe is ahead of us. That is it, plain and simple. It's to do with Islamic nations and the teachings of Islam and Sharia law that's eating its way through our country.
So this piece of artwork has appeared on the side of this house, and the police have taken an interest in it, local politicians have taken an interest in it, many people saying that it's Islamophobic. Now, it's really strange because across the road from this artwork is not an Islamic centre, not a mosque, no. Clogfern Gospel Hall, straight across the road. And again, I don't think people from the Gospel Hall are going to be too offended with an image that bears the cross, that talks about the going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them, and has a picture of Christian gravestones. But it seems to be offending some people, and well, we'll see what happens.
God, what kind of weak soy boy, cowardly soy boys are offended by a mural that is honouring the people who sacrificed their lives for the goodness of the nation, for the well-being of the people of this country? It's like, point of that. And I bet they wouldn't even show their faces in front of cameras to voice their opinions about it. You know, what exactly are they offended about viewing that mural? But yeah, Magic Evil says, but they praise Banksy for littering with his stat. Yeah, I saw that art piece by Banksy. Yeah, utter propaganda. Utter absolute propaganda. Banksy, we all know Banksy's a lefty loony anyways. Thank you for the super chat, Electro Dick. I am monetized. I have been monetized for not a long time, but yeah, as you guys know, I'm being paid by the Jews, and obviously they're not paying me enough, so I've had to resort to monetization just to keep up on paying the bills. So yeah, my channel is monetized. I'm still actually waiting for them to authorize it. They sent me a post the other day, sending me a passcode so I can authenticate it on YouTube. I think it's called YouTube AdSense. So yeah, everything's still in the process. But yeah, I should be able to receive money soon if I'm going to finish the authentication process. From my last video talking about Restore Britain, Advance UK, I actually received what, £15 in revenue from that one video that received what, 5,000 views. So yeah, it's a crazy amount, but you know, I can imagine, like, if you had like 100,000 views for every video, how much money would you have? Like, you could probably make more money than minimum wage, like a minimum wage job. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyways, commenting back on that mural, let's hear what what Ben Habib has to say. Big boy Ben.
In Northern Ireland, the police detained and cautioned 2 individuals for painting a mural on the side of a house. Now, that mural depicts what looks like a British citizen kneeling at a Christian grave. It's got a cross on it, in what looks like a Christian graveyard, because all the gravestones have crosses on them. And behind him, nondescript flags, what look like some kind of Islamist, nondescript Islamic group, hypothetical group, taking control of or assaulting the graveyard. Now, the police may have found this offensive. Other people may find the depiction offensive. But it is absolutely the right of the 2 individuals who painted the mural to express their concern of the continued Islamization of the United Kingdom, the replacement of our Christian culture and constitution with the muscular form of Islam. And I find it extraordinary that the police, particularly in Northern Ireland, would detain 2 people for a mural, however offensive the depiction might be to some people, because the painting of murals is an established form of expression, particularly in Northern Ireland. There are so many parts of Belfast that have murals of a political nature, making a political point, and that is absolutely right and proper. Indeed, these same police wouldn't have arrested anyone or detained or cautioned anyone for nationalist symbols, symbols of IRA terrorism. No one gets arrested for that. Bobby Sands is celebrated in lots of parts of Northern Ireland, and no one gets arrested for it. So it seems to me, as we all know actually, the police exercise their judgment on a two-tier basis. They're prepared to take the knee to IRA terrorist nationalism, accept their expressions of protest, but won't accept the legitimate expressions of concern and protest of people who are loyal to the United Kingdom, loyal to our Christian culture and our constitution. It's an extraordinary state of affairs that we now have in the United Kingdom.
Oh, I'm muted. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is the state, the suppression of freedom of speech in this country. It's just, yeah, I have no words for it. But something needs to be sorted out. You know, the whole United Kingdom 16th of May, a lot of people are talking about how the rally doesn't really achieve anything, that people gathering together in one big mass. Yeah, sure, it's impressive in terms of numbers. And yeah, sure, it earns people's channels likes and clicks and is really kind of, it can be a bit overly sensationalized on social media, which I do agree, but it's not meant to achieve anything on the institutional level, on any political meaningful level. Like, what if you want real change? Go be a member of a political party, or go be a member of a political movement. And I'm on my channel, I'm looking to sort of encourage everyone to look from within. You know, from within us, we have to develop ourselves. You know, work on ourselves, and so then we can be model citizens for other people who want to celebrate Christian culture, to celebrate everything that is good about the United Kingdom, and everything that represents Western civilization. So, anyways, this was the first live stream on the Guardian Moes channel. The first Sunday Munch with Moes is going to be a regular occurrence. Well, hopefully. It's either going to be Sunday or Monday. Those are my two main day offs, unless there's a change in my schedule. But yeah, Sunday Munch with Moes. I'll see you next week on Sunday. And if you're attending the 16th of May, I'll see you there. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning into today's show. We've reached about, 2 hours? I was hoping for it to be a lot shorter. I was hoping to be sort of 1 hour, 1 hour 30, but yeah, we kind of stretched on time. But yeah, we covered a whole set of quite interesting topics today, with immigration and the state of affairs when it comes to broken Britain. Britain is really, really broken, guys. So a little bit of optimism really goes a long way. That's what we need on the 16th of May. So anyways, hopefully I'm able to see you next Sunday. I'll update you. I'll post it on my channel. See you there. This is Guardian Moes, clocking out.